something.
So, Keem, I was telling him how you hate dogs. And
Oh, why did you even? What is wrong with you?
That's some good.
I grew up light skinned, skinny, and unloved. What?
So welcome to Earth 2 Comic-Cast, the world where superheroes exist and comic book talk is the norm. And you are back for episode 6. I hope we're on episode 6. I kind of lost count of numbers of Cloak and Dagger review. I got myself here, Patrick, and then go ahead. Let's introduce ourselves. Keem, introduce yourself.
I'm Keem.
Yeah, that's Keem. And we have Bree.
Hi.
Yeah, that's Bree. And we have Anthony.
I am the knight. Go ahead.
Who is apparently so ashamed of his nerdom for Cloak and Dagger that he's casting from a closet.
Yes.
Like literally,
yes.
He is in the closet
cloaking.
about his nerdom.
He's cloaking.
I'm cloaking. I'm in cosplay right now. I am in the shadows.
All right. So we are going to be talking about episode 6 of Cloak and Dagger, which I think...
Patrick, does that make you my dagger? Are you Dagger? Is that how we're cosplaying?
No. No, I'm not.
Oh, wait.
Bree was into that. That
Wait,
got
is
weird. He wearing white too?
Yeah, Keem is wearing white. Keem's my dagger. And Bree. I'm a lucky cloak.
I was like, you don't know Bree enough to make her your dagger.
That got creepy real quick.
It got creepy from Patrick. Are you my dagger? Like, this got weird. I'm just gonna fade into the background.
So I'm excited to talk about this episode. I feel like, as I said, the episode before episode 5, I felt like was really the beginning of the show, and this episode continues that, where we're really getting to start to see the storyline. I feel like we basically have 3 separate threads right now, and in theory they're all going to come together. It seems pretty clear they're going to come together around Roxxon, which by the way, on my day job I run a board game store, and there's a game called Roxxon, and I keep wanting to
Racks.
I keep wanting to call it Roxxon, not Roxxon, because it's actually, the game's about like an evil corporation that's like turning people into zombies, so it's not too far off from. Anyways, so yeah, I'm pretty excited for where the show is going. I'm a little bit confused again, but in a good way. I'm confused that I don't know how all the threads are going to come together, which I think is on purpose. So what are you guys all thinking about the show so far before we get into the details of episode 6? Anthony?
I think it's good. I think that they have a mystery that we actually want to solve. The flashbacks make sense. They have the mystery dream stuff that's going on, and the acting is really, really solid, except for this last episode.
So bad.
Cloak's acting was a little.
I was gonna say that it seems like in the chat, because we have a interweek chat, it seems like there's some controversy about Ty's acting.
Well, I put a comment in that left. I don't know what the response was after that, but yeah, Ty's acting was kind of off this one. But besides that, I like it. It's better than I thought it was gonna be. I think I said that last time, but yeah.
All right.
And the soundtrack's on point. The soundtrack is
something every week I mean to talk about that, and I forget. There is a lot of music in the show. Like, just
and
not just good music, but there's just a large quantity. It almost reminds me of, I'm really old right now, but it reminds me of Miami Vice, like how they would just like let a song like fly for a while rather than like just have it there for like 10 seconds and disappear. Like sometimes they'll just go like a full minute or more with just a song playing
and let it soak in, let that music soak into the scene. And I really feel that. And I know I said this about last time, but you know, Luke Cage and the Defenders, like I love Wu-Tang. Like I love some Wu-Tang. Like, but they never use Wu-Tang right. And so it always feels like it's off. And all the music a lot of times feels off. This one, when a series gets the music beats right and lets it sit with you. Remind me of those WB shows where they used to like play the music at the end of the credit or whatever, be some different artist or something like that. And be like, oh yeah, I feel that. Not that I watch those shows.
Oh, you watch all of Smallville, man.
All of Charmed.
All right, Bree, what's your general feeling about the show now? 6 episodes. We're almost like a half a season in, right? Oh, I didn't even think about this as a summer release, so it's kind of hard to gauge. I don't know how many episodes total there are or anything since it's a summer release. How are you feeling about it so far?
I still really like it, and I don't get what you're getting confused about. Also, it looks like there's 8 episodes.
Oh, I'm curious to see how it all comes together. That's all.
There's only 8 episodes.
No. Oh, that's tragic.
Wait. Wiki.
I thought at least it's gonna be 13 or something.
Oh wait, Wiki says 10. My bad.
Okay.
Well, they got that sweet spot. They got that sweet spot.
12 would be great, but
well, Netflix has been struggling with that 12 ep format. So maybe they were like, "Nah, we're gonna keep it to 10."
All right, Keem, what are you feeling about by episode 6 about the show overall?
Still feeling pretty good about it. I think the thing that I like about, well, maybe because I'm paying a little more attention, but this episode and the episode before is, it seems like there's always a line in the episode, and the theme carries through for the whole episode. So, Bree knows what I'm talking about.
Can you take mental note of that line, and let's have a good talk about that towards the end of things, or Bree may even bring it up in her timeline.
What's the name of this episode? I remember thinking
Funhouse Mirrors.
Oh, right. Okay.
Notes.
Oh, dang.
Cool.
Notes.
Awesome. Well, I'm kind of curious we'll get to that to the end, but I'm curious what you think about how things went down based on our controversy last week. So I'll be interested to talk about that since we got into a bit of a
all wrong. But
what were we wrong about? Well, I guess we'll get to it.
Well,
you weren't there, Ant.
Oh, then I was right.
Yeah, you weren't there for the fight. You missed the fight. All right. So it was me versus everybody else. I was a man alone.
Well, I was probably right. Go ahead.
All right, Bree, why don't you go ahead and start us off with the timeline this week?
Okay, so how much do you want? Because I took notes on all of it.
Just take us scene by scene, basically. So what's the opening scene of the show?
Bree, can you act it out as each character? Just do a one-woman show.
I would watch that.
I would need more notes.
It's more likely that more people will watch this podcast if you do that than us just talking about the show. Honestly,
I can tell you the thought I have every scene, especially the first scene. Go ahead. Sorry.
Wait. Oh, you're talking about Evita.
Yeah. I talk about that sex I smell on you. I was like, dang.
Yeah, does that mean he's not a virgin?
Well, he's not a virgin anymore. She gave him some last episode. Right?
But she said, "I ain't smelling sex on you."
I thought she said, "I smelled sex on you."
I'm not talking about that sex I smell on you, because she was like, "Oh, you want to have a talk?" You know when you first get down and you got to go home and you be like, "Oh, do they know? Does everybody know? Like, oh my gosh, can they see it on me? Am I changing? Nobody worry about you. We just know because you acting nervous." Go ahead.
Okay. So it opens up with the aunt and Evita, and they're breaking a brick, and they're like, "Okay, we're going to do a reading about New Orleans." I was like, okay. And it's not about Ty, right? Oh, it's kind of about Ty. And then they're like, next scene. There's a lot of scenes. And then the next thing you see. We're not going to
talk about how there's been different, main characters, in each generation, apparently, of New Orleans' disaster.
That's later.
Oh, that's not this scene? Oh, my bad.
That's later.
Pace yourself, Ant.
It's pretty clear who's good at the timeline and who's
Yeah. I'll shut up now. Go ahead.
They jump a lot. I could separate it and do Evita's and then Tandy's and then Ty's.
No. I'm gonna shut up.
Okay. So that's the first thing where they're like, we're gonna do a reading on New Orleans, past, present, future. They mentioned the Loa. I don't know what that is. It's some voodoo reading stuff, but and then the next thing we see is Dwayne having sex with a girl who is all in white, looking like Cloak and Dagger, but it's not. It's just Dwayne. And then Tyrone's sneaking in hey, what's up? And then it goes to Mina and Tandy, and Tandy's like, hey, I want to be your intern. Who the fuck are you? I ain't want no intern.
So, whoa. So when Ty shows up, did that feel something felt awkward about that whole scene?
What scene?
Well, it probably felt awkward because the first time he went in there was genuine happiness. And so now he's going back in knowing all the stuff that he knows, and he's trying to keep up a front that he doesn't know anything, but he's a really shitty liar and
he's a really bad actor. Ty as the character is a bad actor.
Yeah, as an actor, he's
Ty.
Ty is becoming, yeah.
I don't think the actor is a bad actor. I think Ty himself is a bad actor.
She's saying
He's
the
showing
actor
He's saying
is
the
a good
character is a
actor.
bad liar. He's a bad covert
Yeah.
operative.
So there's a thing when you're acting where you actually are supposed to, when you're lying and you want
Act
the audience
like
to know
you're
you're
lying.
lying, you're supposed to show the tell because audiences like me are dumb. So you have to like show the tell. And so you're saying he was just showing the tell.
Yeah, I got it. But he's also a bad actor. So
Or is he? Is he that good that you think he's bad because he's doing a good job at bad acting in his role? Think about it.
He wasn't acting through the whole thing. Go ahead.
While we have this pause, can I just ask what was the point of the sex scene, or is it just like?
I don't know. I thought it was random.
They in the car sex. They are in the car sex.
I think it was just to prove that we are not in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. world.
I mean, they were very black and white dressed, like Cloak and Dagger are. And like that's the only thing I could think of. Like, oh, this is the end, but not really. But like, I just thought it was really interesting that she was dressed.
Oh, maybe
in all
that's
white,
it. Like they're trying
and
to
her hair was blonde.
Convince us that they're together.
Wait, maybe I'm missing a scene. Who had sex?
Dwayne and some girl that dyed her hair blonde and was dressed in all white, like Dagger would be.
They showed side boob. You don't remember this, Aunt?
That does seem unrealistic.
It's like that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So from the sex scene, they jump to Tandy going up to Mina and being like, "I want to be your intern." I was like, "I didn't ask for no intern." It's like, "Please let me be your intern." Oopsie daisy. It's like, "Fine, get yourself some good waiters."
Oh no, one thing I liked about that scene, she looked like, "Oh, I know how you got this job. Say no more." Like I was like, "Dang, that's a shame." It was
kind of insulting, but at the same time, she's like, "Oh, you talk to such and such. Oh, okay.
I know what that
means. It figures." But then it was really cool because even though she felt like, either you got this job, you got this internship because you screwed him, or you got this internship because he wants to screw you. Like she still gave her a chance.
Yeah.
We're going to get into this more later, but I was pretty amazed by how smart Dagger is.
Is she, though?
I think she's... Wait, why were you amazed?
Oh, well, I guess I got a sense before this that, like, she kind of didn't have a lot of schooling and stuff, so I don't know. I was stunned that she was, like, holding her own with, like, a PhD kind of level stuff. I don't know. I couldn't have walked into that situation and been able to... Not that... I mean, I just felt like she... Yeah. Well, how old was she when her father died? Because it seemed like they were attributing all her knowledge from when her father died. But that would be some heavy stuff for a child that young to be learning from her father. I don't know. I'm
assuming she didn't go on the streets right after.
Maybe.
So.
Maybe.
What do you mean? I'm sorry. I blinked out.
Oh, I was just stunned by the level. Smart's isn't quite the right word because it's not her intelligence level. It's her depth of knowledge. In other words, how much like book learning basically it seemed like she had kind of surprised me.
But if you think about like if your father owns a garage and he has you in the garage, from a kid, you're going to learn what different cars are, what different parts are. You're going to learn how to read a
blueprint,
blueprint or a diagnostic tool. So I mean, some of the stuff she had is just her growing up in a field of science and knowledge. Like she had a very different life, and it seemed like that
she didn't get to fully grow up in it though.
But she was what 12 when her father died.
Oh, she was like 12 or 13. That makes more sense. For some reason, I had in my mind she was much younger.
She seemed younger to me.
Was it like 8?
In that scene, I thought she was like 9-ish. But
well, the only reason I used the car scene is that I have a client that's not even 13, 10, who's grown up in his father's garage, knows more about cars than I think some of the mechanics actually work on my car. Like kids absorb a lot of stuff if they're interested or if they look up, if they want a pattern and if adults include them on stuff. That's fair.
True. Yeah. So good point. It just it shocked me, but I'm all for it. Like I guess I was actually, oh gosh, like am I saying this that I want a flashback? I would like to see how she kind of came about all that knowledge, basically.
She had time.
Or maybe she was gifted, or maybe she took him to like did her dad do the school talks, or was it
Yes.
yeah, maybe she went to those school talks and learned. I don't know. I think kids can absorb a lot if they're around certain things.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
I mean, she already has street smarts. But,
Oh
like,
yeah, I'm not in any way denying her street smarts.
What? I don't know what smarts you're talking about either. Like, she just knows how to
like
read a
being able to
blueprint.
like look at that blueprint and know exactly that like it's X number of meters away from where some like scientific geyser is supposed to be, and she seemed to know. It seemed like when Mina was talking that my understanding was that Mina was like probably I would assume is like a doctorate level, like of book learning, and that they were portraying Dagger as also being a doctorate level of book learning. Like it seemed like she tracked
Yeah.
with Mina. She read her thesis.
You don't go into a con not knowing shit.
Right.
And you have to be really smart to be a con artist. Like you have to be really smart and be able to adapt and like go into stuff. It's kind of like Catch Me If You Can. Like, how'd you pass the bar? How did you cheat? What do you mean? I studied. And I think that I didn't get that she was doctorate level. I get that she knew how to read a blueprint. And it's kind of like fresh eyes on something. Because the same way, like, I can read code. I can't program crap now, but I can read code now. I could follow it.
Yeah, actually, that's kind of maybe how I saw it. It seemed to me like she was walking in and able to code, basically, in science land. My sister's also an environmental scientist, and so, like, the stuff she does, like, she literally does exactly the kind of stuff that Mina does in this show, which I think is kind of cool. And
that is awesome.
I mean, it's pretty advanced stuff. Like, it's not like you could just go and like read a book for an afternoon and then do what my sister does, right? Like that's all.
I think she just read the thesis and she probably memorized a lot of key stuff. And then when you think about the whole blueprint thing, and this is one of those things that I feel like I've been training for all my life. In the newspaper, they have like those two pictures and it's like, what's different from this picture and this picture? Like, or the highlights books in the doctor's office.
Oh yeah, my kids love those.
Yeah, and there have been a couple of times where I've walked into situations and like managers have been like, something here is different from this picture, or something isn't right. What is this? And I'm like, wait a minute, I've been doing this the whole. So I think that's just one of those things where she's like, wait a minute, I'm looking at this and this doesn't look like this. Is that in the wrong spot? I mean, we're jumping ahead, but
cool. Yeah, maybe you're right.
I think it's just her natural aptitudes.
Yeah, she's got a keen sense of observing.
I mean, I can't read a blueprint, so it seemed all magic to me. But
maybe as we go along, it'll be more clear. I'll be curious to see how it goes.
All right.
Sorry, go on, Bree.
Okay. After the Mina and Tandy, it goes back to Dwayne and Ty, and Ty's like, "I want a job." It's like, "No, you in the good life now. You don't need this job. You can go do something else." I was like, "Yeah." I think Ty was like trying to guilt trip Dwayne right here because he was like, "What if that night gone any other way? I would be like you, any other way." And then he sees the red bag and he follows, and then it goes to the police station, and O'Reilly is making shit happen. But people are noticing, and so the cop's like, "Please stop. Please stop."
I think O'Reilly is my favorite character in the show, actually.
Oh, really? What do they call that, Patrick? Is it like the blue shield or the blue code or whatever, where you don't, make things
write
rough?
out your own.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I thought that was really interesting. They put that in there, and I don't know. I like her. I like her a lot as this episode. She's grown on me a lot.
I know. I kind of want her to like go back and to the Defenders universe. I like her a lot.
I did think that Ty going there looking for a job, though. I was like, your undercover plan. Are we here? Is that where we're at now?
Yeah. I mean, basically.
I was like, look, you shouldn't be you're under, like, if you get busted with drugs, you can't be like, hey, I was trying to just figure out who, what this guy was lying about. Like that seems like a bad plan for the rest of your life.
You're such a good adult, Anthony. Good role model.
I'm just scared of getting arrested with drugs.
Ant is we've said this a lot. He's way too pretty to be in jail.
I can't go. I can't go. It will not turn out well.
He's got to think about his masculine chaste. So.
And I can't wear a baggy coat the whole time in jail, so it won't go well.
Right.
You know? All right, so go on, Bree. Sorry.
Okay, so where was I? Oh, O'Reilly.
You're really good at this. You should do this every week.
Yeah,
Sorry, go on.
O'Reilly's boyfriend was telling her to don't.
Yeah, she was like, "Stop it! You're forcing people to pay attention. You need to stop." And she was like, "You a punk ass cop. I'm gonna do what I'm doing." And then it goes to Ty, who cannot be covert, I guess, because the guy.
Actually, can you stop real quick? Walking out of the police station was the lady that she busted in the last episode, right?
No.
Oh,
Remember, she's like somebody stomping off, really angry at the beginning.
That was one of the people that she like is getting intel from, and she keeps making them leave because like forcing them to get intel, and that's how she's getting all those
tips. It wasn't the same lady as she got intel from a week ago.
No, because this one was pretty. She wasn't cute. She wasn't. She just looked really bad. And that's how I knew that it wasn't. I'm sorry, she wasn't.
She was pretty to somebody.
Well, yeah, but not me.
She was pretty cheap.
Oh.
I just didn't think she was as pretty, which is why I noticed the pretty one in my eyes. Okay.
Okay.
Maybe she's pretty to you. I'm not saying she's not pretty to someone, but she wasn't pretty to me. So I didn't notice. I noticed that it wasn't her. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she got dolled up for this scene. But it wasn't for me, okay? So it goes to the next scene, which is Ty getting caught by the guy with the bag, and he gets a gun to his neck. And you're like, oh my gosh, no. And then he goes to the church. Oh, wait. Then it goes back to the aunt and Evita.
By the way, Ty is a horrible person for... he is bad at following people. Because that guy somehow circled around behind him.
And caught him.
He's bad. Like, and he's trying to be the spy boy, right? Like, for the rude boys
your name
or whatever.
Is Cloak. Your name is Cloak.
Yeah, for sure. Your name is Cloak.
I was really mad at that.
I mean, he can't. I mean, he ain't got no experience in this. He a suburbanite prep boy. He follow people through the streets.
He needs
Which
to
is why
do
it was
better.
dumb. You should have been extra careful. But whatever. Anyways, then it goes back to Evita and her aunt, and that's when they talk about rebirth and destructions and how disaster is coming, and it's all about a cycle with New Orleans going through floods and shit, and you're always going to have that cycle of death and life and stuff.
Oh, I want to know how old that actress is. The one that plays Ty's love interest or whatever.
Evita?
Yeah, because at some point in school, you're like, oh, look at that little girl. But then sometimes when she's with her aunt, I'm like, this is a grown-ass woman. like...
Plot twist.
Let's see.
And I thought that was interesting though, how they had like apparently this happened. I want to know if those are real historical figures. Like they brought up certain brothers, and I wonder if these are legends. You know how every town has history you're not gonna learn about in school, like history about that place or that town or who ran those streets at what time. Like I wonder
some of that did sound familiar from this is really bad, but I think that they delve into some of that history when they talk about Gambit's backstory too.
Oh, like
there's one of the X-Men. There's one of the X-Men animated episodes. Like it's a 3-parter or something that goes into this. It does like the same thing where there's like 2 and like I don't know. So it makes me think there might be something in New Orleans there that both Gambit's backstory and Cloak and Dagger's apparently backstory connect to.
So can I, before you continue, Bree, can I just say the line that stuck out with me during this conversation between Evita and her aunt? When they were talking about
the drug dealer's girlfriend. Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me. What?
Sorry. I just remembered.
The line that stuck out to me during the conversation with Evita and her aunt, where the aunt was explaining about these natural cycles keep happening. And the aunt says, and I kind of wrote it down here. She said, we have to understand the past to figure out what's coming in the future. And so, yeah, I just felt like that whole understanding the past and recognizing cycles was kind of the theme of the show.
I just realized something when you said that too.
Boom. Me and you, Bree. Me and you.
I got you.
We got it. That's right.
I'll mention it later. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
I don't know if you noticed, but this episode has been renamed with Bree and friends. Sorry, go on.
Okay. Also, Evita is 25 in real life. I looked it up, and she's actually from New Orleans.
Oh,
I did read that.
I like
Yeah.
that.
A little flavor.
I like this. It's from New Orleans.
You know what's stuck out to
local
me
talent.
is that Asian scientist girl. She put on those boots with no socks or nothing. Those boots are probably real funky. That's what I thought about. Sorry, that was my contribution.
Someone has a kink.
a kink.
Jesus Christ.
After that part, it's Tandy and Ty in the church, and Ty is like, I got a gun to my face. I got a gun to my face because I wasn't slick. And then Tandy just casually using her powers now, just using a dagger.
Tandy is so hardcore compared to Ty now.
Yeah, she's like, shut your bitch ass up.
But she always has been, though.
Yeah.
That's true. But yeah, like, and Tandy's just like, calm down. You got to make your opening. You tried to get a job. Go back and get the job. Make your shit, yo. And she even tells Ty, she was like, use your powers. You can see their fear. Why don't you freaking use it? Which he fucking does later. But anyways, yeah, he's like, use your shit. We have, they talk about their different lives, which is what they're doing right now. And I had a friend who pointed out that this episode was them doing, like, living parts of the lives that they could have had if that event didn't happen.
No.
That's
I was like, oh shit, you're right.
They
They're
are.
like,
Also, they're kind of living each other's life right now. Like,
yeah.
He's basically living the life that she's been leading this whole time, and she's now leading the life that he's been leading this whole time. So there's a lot to do. This show is really
it's like a fun house mirror because everything's crazy.
Every episode, they're just having fun with this idea of duplicity in different ways. It's pretty impressive. It's pretty like, when you can do those kind of thematic things, like that's a rare, like, I mean, yeah, that's good writing. Good writing. That's all I'm saying.
Layers in this.
What?
I said there's so many layers in this. Like,
I love it.
Right? It's really good. That made me appreciate this episode so much more.
Ain't none of that in Runaways.
No, Runaways is blunt.
They just have a dinosaur.
That they get rid of all the time. They're like, please leave me alone. Like a dinosaur has anywhere to fucking go.
Yeah, I thought about that when I was watching Jurassic World. Like, they let that fucking dinosaur go. I don't know why that pissed me off watching the movie, but like, they just let that dinosaur
just
out.
Go. We'll find you later. We'll find you later. It'll be okay. Okay.
So after the church thing, Tandy goes with Mina, and that's when like she gets into her like camper or whatever, and like eating her cookies. And read the blueprints, seeing that oil rig, and she keeps bringing up her dad. I'm like, oh,
right.
How's your dad? I'm just like,
yeah, it was like over too much. I'm glad that Mina called her out eventually on it because I was like, you are creeper.
Right,
like,
catch the social
creeper.
hint. Catch the social hint, like the social cues right there. Like,
so do you think it's because, and this was my thinking on it, was that because Tandy is really good about like maneuvering her way into situations, but her con is always like a quick con. Like, she's just getting into the guy's house to drug them to steal their stuff. And this is like a longer stretch. So she's not experienced yet in how to like not seem so freaking obvious.
I thought part of it, what's it called? Because like I was really mad at how often she kept bringing the dad up, and it was not even like smooth. But I thought she was trying to like do that nerdy intern stuff. And also, every time Mina goes in public, she talks about her dad. So it's not like a secret that her dad works at Roxanne or was at the oil rig. Mina goes in public and was like, my dad got hurt at that oil rig, and now I work trying to do better. And so
I kind of feel like a quick Google search would have fixed a lot of that. Like, but also I think she's also used to conning men more than women, and I bet that
so her looks didn't help.
Right, guys get dumb when you bat them eyes. So like, I think that I liked how I won't go to that point, but I think that's also something to do with it.
Yeah, so she keeps doing that, and Mina is definitely avoiding it. She's like, want more cookies? Let's go. And then it goes back to Ty stalking, and I actually made a note about this since you're talking about the music thing. When Ty is like creeping up on the people, the song literally is singing "Creep Up on Him." I don't know if anyone else noticed that, but I thought that was really funny.
I did.
I thought that was great. And then it goes back to O'Reilly and Connors, and she keeps what's she doing? Keeps himself removed. Wow, cool. But she's like sharing everything with Connors, which I didn't get because she knows that he's bad. Didn't get that part.
We all agree that she really did drugs, right?
I don't think she really did drugs.
I don't know.
I think she did.
Because she was snorting.
I think she definitely did drugs.
So stinking loud, but I think she was snorting loud enough to get somebody's attention, because then he came in and she's like, "Here, you do it," but you never actually saw like
you see a line disappear.
That's what I wanted to see too.
It would kind of like disrespect the show a little bit if she wasn't doing drugs. Like, I liked that they were willing to go to a place where one of their heroes, well, pseudo heroes or whatever, was able to go to that place.
No, if you wanted that's why you have Dagger.
Yeah, that's how you fail piss tests. I think that she pretended. I think she like pantomime doing the lines for herself. In like
3 days,
and then then he came in and thought that she was doing the line, so then she just kind of like slid it over to him. But I think like she's sharing so much with him, and she's pretending or pretending to do coke because she wants him to drop his guard and let her into his world of crookedness, so that it's easier for her to like.
I agree with that. I just don't know. I mean, he's like basically an undercover narc. I feel like he might even know if she was faking that out, you know? So like, I think that, I mean, maybe she did very little, but I wouldn't be surprised if she did a little bit of it.
But I think also like Keem has a point. Like, what she did was she set it up so that he caught her, which means like you already put yourself on the, like she put him in a place of power, right? Where he was like, "Oh crap, don't worry, I was gonna bust you." So like, if you already, that would be a good blind. You know what I mean? That would be a good misdirect. If that's what she did, I can see that, Keem. That's all I was. I was just supporting your opinion.
I appreciate you.
Okay.
All right, keep going, Bree. Keep going before the awkward silence between Keem and Anthony. Like, really.
Okay. Well, after that part, then it goes back to Vita and her aunt, and that's when they talk about the divine pairing. Where she's like, "There's always two," and then that's when they're like, "Oh, there's the boy and the girl, and then the brothers, and then the other ones from the past." If any of you wanted to bring that up, I didn't really care too much.
I don't know anything about that, so there's, you know, a divine.
I was hoping one of y'all did research.
I figured it was just an excuse for people to have superpowers. That's basically what I assumed.
Well, she talks about it when she does the tour, and that was a long.
I didn't pay attention during the tour.
It's a pretty common theme of the cycle of like the two opposing sides or the two sides of the coin or something like that that have an event that comes together. But I was interested in this show. I always enjoy those cycles. So I mean, I don't know. I wonder if it's really history or or something they just made up for the show, or because I feel like I heard
Google it, Ant.
I should. I feel like I heard the brothers thing before though. Like I'm sure I've heard that somewhere, but.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I really think like the whole talk was just further like, I guess this is about to be a bad play on words, and I don't mean to, like doubling down on the whole duality that you're seeing all through the show. So now they're like, okay, so we have this dark man who's probably
I felt like it was
boyfriend.
Like give their powers more, I don't know, more credence than just like an explosion happened and now they have powers, but that they're part of something bigger.
Right. It also made me think
coming
about
around
this.
in a cycle.
It also made me think about this. We are always pairing them together. Like, when are they going to get together? How are they going to get together? And in the comics, their powers kind of feed off each other, symbiotic relationship. But in the show, their powers are repellent. So I wonder if at least my view of it, when they're going to come together, when are they going to be like this team? But what if that's not what the cycle does? Maybe in the cycle, they're not supposed to be together. They're just connected. And that connectedness could lead to more destruction.
It could.
Or not. I don't.
That
It
could be
makes
the
sense.
destruction.
Yeah, I did think the editing was really interesting, where they kept coming back to them talking about this stuff, because it it seems like they were talking more almost like the meta plot and not super connected with what else was going on in the episodes as much as just about the overall kind of where we're going. Like maybe a lot of the answers to the stuff they're talking about we won't see until like the next episode or two.
Maybe. Maybe.
Go, Bree.
Anyways, then it goes back to Tandy and Mina, and she keeps bringing up the dad, and then this is when she talks about the bees and stuff, and where she's like, oh, what about this and this and this? Like, ha, I read your thesis, bitch. I know what you're talking about.
Like, I know everything.
Right? And she's like, bees survive. They died off, and then they came back. That's New Orleans.
I feel like that's another nod to the cycle talk. Like, they die off, but then they come back, and she's like, even like when she's talking about the bee, what was she calling them? Bee Arthur.
Bee Arthur.
Yeah. So she's like, if you look every 2 feet, like here's a Bee Arthur, and there's a Bee Arthur, and there's a Bee Arthur, and I'm like, all these patterns. Like, so I just think they're just trying to really drill it in your head, like there's a cycle, they're patterns. You have to.
And
even
that, oh no, go ahead.
I don't know.
That was the other thing that O'Reilly said when she was talking to Connor, when she was like showing him all the stuff. She laid out a map, and she was like, if you look, there's a pattern here. So if we can figure out the pattern, then we can figure out like what we're not seeing. Sorry,
yeah, I was going to comment that I like the cycles, and that I thought that actually going out with the environmental scientist, like I followed one of my friends and I followed him to one of his little things in this swampy area once, and that's just how it is with them. They're talking about these different plants and these bees, and I thought that was really, I feel like it was another layer where anything that we know about this show, they have a really layer where they actually do their research and actually make it seem like they're involved in those different cultures and those different worlds, and I really appreciated those scenes.
Good shit. Okay. Then it goes back to O'Reilly and Connor's in the car, and they're like, I'm a junk. Well, talking about how she's doing bumps, right? And she's like, well, just because I have a free bump doesn't mean I'm going to give them a free ride, which is how she's also getting her intel, by getting drugs. Mm-hmm. And then starts thinking, what's that say? Okay. Oh, she starts talking about like, I don't want to slowly become the other guy just because I'm thinking like him, which I thought was kind of a jab at Connors, low-key. Mm-hmm. And then that's when they're like, oh, stop right here. And that's when they're chasing after those guys. And then Ty gets the bag. And then O'Reilly. No, it was Connors who was beating up the guy. I was like, wait, blah, 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 blah. You need to get a message to your bitch, blah, blah, blah. And O'Reilly just lets it happen. And I was like, rude.
Yeah, well, she walks in at the end, because at first she's not there, and Connors is telling the guy like, look, you guys are drawing the wrong kind of attention to yourselves, so you need to let your boss know that you're fucking up, and you need to go ahead, like, tighten it up. And so like he punches him in the gut, and he's about to let him go, but as it happens, that's when O'Reilly comes up. So then they're both sitting there like, so then he like beats him up some more.
And they lost the
bag.
Which so
they had to let him go.
Yeah, they didn't have nothing on him. They were just beating him up for fun. And then it goes back to Tandy, and that's when the valve scene happens, where it's like, yeah, what's wrong with this valve? And the valve is to do heat pressure, heat release, and heat shields so that it doesn't blow up like the oil rig. And also, they're not drilling for oil.
Yeah, that's some crazy stuff. Some sort of energy source even more powerful than oil.
And it's all over.
This is crazy.
All over the city.
Can you remember what they were after
in Runaways?
In Runaways, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
And also in Defenders, wasn't it like a dragon?
Yeah, that was dragon bones.
Marvel has a thing about going underneath the ground. It's weird.
When we gonna get that dump
underground?
Oh my gosh. I just think, I'm just wondering if there's some sort of connection across all the, like, are the dragon bones the source of super energy or something? Sorry, go on, Keem.
If they didn't ruin the hand storyline, I think it'd be a really cool link, but I hope it's not.
Probably not. It's probably whatever the Runaways whatever the glowy dude in the Runaways was like trying to dig and look for is probably the same power source.
Well, that'd be a cool link between the shows. But do we know these shows are like? Does the Runaways happen in the like Netflix shows? Like we know this does. Like in the same universe? Does the Runaways also?
Well,
I have no idea.
It should
Yeah.
be. I think so.
They're both on Hulu rather than Netflix. So that's
so
what I
there's
got.
that.
Right, but they all have the
so-
same world as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all of them. They're on the same world. So I was just, come on. Okay.
I think
I was just gonna say, there was another kind of cycle nod, at least to me, when what's her name?
Nina? Tandy?
Yes. No, Nina. When she was yelling at Stan because she was like,
Stan!
what are you cutting corners now? Like, this is the same shit that happened before that caused the explosion because you guys were cutting corners. And I think it was interesting that she said that she was going to, like, if he kept doing that, she was going to tell, what's his name? What was his name? Scarborough. She was like, if you keep doing this, I'm going to tell Scarborough, not knowing that, like,
He doesn't care.
he's the main corner
Stan
cutter.
was like comic relief for me. He was pretty hilarious.
Is that the
You
guy
like
that
his license plate?
Stan,
Yes.
man.
Stan. Yeah, exactly.
was the guy she was going to tell the guy in the last episode that was like in his vision was drowning people to take money off of him?
Yeah.
Correct.
And like,
Yep.
and his underlings were picturing him giving them head and all that stuff. Other stuff. Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, and so he was like, be a bitch about it. And she was like, I will. So she did.
And then Tandy stabbed that car wheel. That was awesome.
Great. I was so
That
happy
is
about
probably, that's my favorite scene. And also this is why I couldn't have like stabby superpowers because I would slash everybody's tires.
You wouldn't be mad and slash tires. You're like, poke,
You're like,
poke.
finally a superhero acting like I would.
it. So yeah, that happens. And then it goes back to Ty just walking along like he doesn't have a bag of drugs. Like he shouldn't be hurrying somewhere. But then he gets caught by the guy who originally had the bag. And then that's when Ty uses his powers to show him his worst fear. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but Ty did not let that bitch get out. No, you're not leaving out this door, not out this door.
Right.
You're going to suffer. And so the guy gets all scared and runs away. And I thought that was great.
Yeah. So
like,
that
finally.
guy's fear, was it death?
Yeah, hey,
no. Overall
Bree,
fear-
it's
'cause
time
I
for
was
you
like-
to explain to me that dream sequence because I did not
Yes.
know what was going on.
Yes, I will explain the fear of a character we have no idea about. It just seemed like a little kid's nightmare. Like, he's hardened, and so his fear is just some random shit from his childhood. Like, I don't think we're supposed to know. It's just supposed
It
to
was
be
like
a fear.
something in a black cloak with a white mask
And like,
on it. So I was like,
the
is
little
that supposed
children
to be-
singing, like, you watch too many scary movies. Calm down.
That was super
I was
creepy.
just expecting him to find something that he could like legitimately leverage. I guess he's not important enough of a character for it to matter, but I thought there was something there, and then there wasn't really.
He scared the shit out of him, and he ran away without the bag. That's all he needed.
How did he? I didn't understand how he scared him off.
By showing him his fears.
Oh, so when they do that, they see it as well?
Yes. I don't think it happens for Tandy.
I don't think that's been super clear to me that like when he did it with his mom saw that as well, and when
that's why she was like, oh, I feel dizzy. I'm just
and why
gonna
does
sit down.
it work with him and not with her, or it does work with her too? I'm very.
I don't think it
confused.
works for her. Or if they do,
I don't think so either.
you're not noticing it. And also, hers aren't scary, and so they're just like thinking about their hope. But like, if you're thinking about your fear, you're gonna be a little disoriented. That's how I've been doing it.
That's a really interesting power then, because it's not just that she can or he can see into their fears, but he literally forces them to relive their worst fears. He's like Scarecrow suddenly.
Yeah.
And
he makes them feel their fears.
And he traps
That's
them
like
in
more
there.
powerful than his teleport power.
It's
great.
He can walk up to Thanos and Thanos goes running.
I don't know about that.
I'm just saying that's a very powerful power if you can force people to relive their like worst fears.
Thanos was like, I relive this fear every day. Every time I see a civilization is correct. You go into some long speech, and Cloak would be like, I don't know what to do here. I'm just gonna leave. Can I leave?
But yeah, I think what you need to really pay attention to is how Tyrone did that on purpose. And you could see him smile a little when he's like, no, you ain't getting out this door.
I wish I had known that he could do that. I need to like almost rewatch that scene because I thought that I was really confused because in the past I thought it just kind of like drained them a little bit because like after he touched his mom, it seemed like she was like a little bit faint or something. I didn't get a sense
She
that
was
she was
terrified.
Like,
Yeah, and I don't know that she realized that it was because of him, but this dude definitely realized it because Ty put like both hands on his arm for like that rope burn
And
thing.
Ty was in it too.
Yeah,
like Ty was in it, like, trapping him.
As he's trying to run away, all you see is Ty like standing in front of doors, like no.
Well, that actually is way cooler because that's Ty really using his power. I was looking for him to like. I think I was looking at it from a mystery standpoint of he was going to find some sort of thing this guy was scared of and then use that as leverage against him. But if I didn't, like I said, I didn't realize the other guy was also living through that fear. So that's pretty cool because it's Ty really learning how to use his power for the first time.
It's great. It's freaking great.
Mm-hmm.
And then
better than that chick almost killing him to use his power.
It's true. But yeah, and then it goes back to the aunt and stuff and talking about how only the divine pairing can stop the destruction. And she's like, what? Evita's like, no, there has to be a way to stop it, right? She's like, the point of no return is the
one
end.
of them. Is this when she mentions one of them's going to die?
No, that's later. That's later. Time. But that scene made me think that Evita is definitely going to try and stop it, just in case it's going to be Ty that dies. And maybe sad stuff happens. But then it goes back to Ty, and he's like, Dwayne, I got your bitch's backpack of drugs. What you going to do about it? And that's why he's like, I want it.
I want you to play out all scenes now.
Wait, Rick, you're in? Yeah, so he's just like, I got the drugs. You need to let me in. I want to be in this. And Dwayne's like, no, you don't. Let's go for a ride. And then it goes back to Tandy. It's like, and then she still keeps talking about the dad, bringing it up, and Mina is just like, please stop with her eyes. But then they talk about the school and how their dad worked together, and like Mina definitely likes Nathan Bowen, so little feelies for Candy. Like, oh.
I thought it was cool how how Nina brought up that Nathan like never made a mistake in his life. Like, yeah, my dad said Nathan never made a mistake in his life. So at least that made Tandy feel a little bit better. Like, at least somebody respected my dad's gangster.
What was all the B. Arthur references throughout the episode? They kept bringing up B. Arthur.
To bees. It was what they used to call bees when they would go out, her and her dad.
Deadpool 2 just came out.
I must have missed that one piece. So
it's all about her daddy.
So when they would go out, they would call bees B. Arthur. Got it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So yeah, she keeps bringing up the dad.
I think might be a Deadpool Easter egg because Deadpool's obsessed with B. Arthur, and I thought it was just cool that.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
But yeah, so talking about how her dad went to school, blah blah blah. They worked together. Steve Jobs to his Wazowski something with a W. I didn't catch it. But like they worked together.
Apple. Yeah.
Oh.
The Wiz.
Wazowski.
Yeah.
I forget his first name now.
The talent behind the throne.
Yeah, the guy who actually like did the work. Steve was just the salesman, basically.
Oh shit! I don't
Too much
know
like me and Patrick.
I don't know which is which, but yeah.
We're not going to figure that out tonight.
That's when Tandy tries to get like Mina's hopes and shit, but then the bee comes along and is like, "Nah, you ain't doing that." And Tandy doesn't.
I thought it seemed like she purposely pulled away, right? Or was I wrong?
Because the bee landed on her neck, and then Nina was like, "There's bee authors on your neck."
You think that means there's a secret going to come up?
Maybe.
Like the fact that she didn't touch her, and it felt like she was not touching her out of trust, tells me that maybe something later that's going to come up. Because
I feel like part of it is just the dad talk. The dad talk made Tandy think that Mina really wasn't that bad. And then the fact that she was going to make sure that this bee...
Especially because Tandy's the one telling Ty, you don't trust anybody. You don't trust anybody.
She's like, I ain't her friend. She's a mark. Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I think the other part of it is, like, right now she's getting to live the moments that she would have had with her dad. So you don't want to, like, touch her and see all her hopes and stuff, and then, like, it's done. Plus,
Which
I
means it's
just
gonna
think
bite
that
her in
she
the
wants
ass.
to, yeah, she just wants to drag it out just a little bit longer.
Also, wouldn't that have been a weird touch moment? Like, would that be the awkward touch moment if someone
But
just
Tandy's always she's a
Yeah,
touchy
she grabbed the
person.
dude by the ear on the stairs. I don't understand why she didn't
She's
touch her like the
touchy.
first moment she
swiped that
saw
old
her
man's neck
anyway.
when he was changing a tire? Like, brushed his neck with her hand? That...
Maybe if the power works like ties, then like they're just too happy to care.
Oh, I guess maybe.
I mean, also she's a pretty girl. It would have been way weirder for Mina if she wasn't into that.
Be like, yeah, I was gonna grab your hands. Like, I don't swing that way, but it's okay if you do. We're open inclusive. Or what if she did swing that way? That'd been missed signals. That'd have been cruel.
That's a whole different
She did it.
genre.
Like, hey. Oh no.
How
Could
you
have done
doing?
it somehow.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Yeah. I just wondered from jump how come she didn't just like touch her. Like when she handed her the coffee, why didn't she just touch her then? Like your hands were already going to connect. Or
Plot
when you're
reasons.
taking cookies from her, why don't you just touch her and get it over?
Plot reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't really get to talk too long to the people after she touches them.
Yeah.
So maybe something happens and we just haven't heard about it yet. But after that, you see Connor's on the phone talking about, we need to get rid of this cop, this bitch ass cop. That's like 1 second scene. Then it goes back to Tyrone with Dwayne in the car. And he was like, I need to survive out here. We all couldn't be lucky like you and get rich or middle class, technically. And just saying, oh, and then they talk about cycles again. This city, you get what you put out. No, that's not true. You put stuff out and then it comes back. It's not fair. It's not right. May not even be good.
Is this the drive? When they do the drive?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he's like,
what
about justice? Like, justice is for white people in some other place. So he's got to get shit done. I thought that was a great line.
No, I thought that was a great line too. I remember that. I was like,
yeah.
But this on
I
Hulu?
was like,
Got the Handmaid's Tale and they tell white people what the truth is? It's like,
Hulu's woke.
It's like Huey from Boondocks all over again.
Well, I mean, Billy didn't get justice, so.
I mean, he kind of got justice. He got shot by the same cop he let go with his. Oh, sorry.
No, Billy, the brother who got shot in the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh.
Billy didn't get justice. Dwayne's gonna get.
He didn't get justice.
Dwayne's gonna get what he's getting. Patrick.
Yeah, but Ty didn't rage out on that dude by any means. By any means.
Well, if he didn't die, maybe he would have started to.
You were like, he is going to show up and kick his ass.
Yeah, and then I guess Tandy was like, "Nah, man, you got to do that long con."
Yeah, you got to go for the long game.
And so that's why he tried, but he can't do it.
Yeah, but I'm not even convinced. I mean, I think there was a long con, but I'm not convinced that Ty, even now, I'm not convinced that Ty saw him as the mark as much as the cop is the mark.
I think he saw Dwayne as the way to clear Billy.
Sure. Okay.
When that didn't work out, and he was like, "No!"
But that's different than just wanting to beat the crap out of Billy.
My bad. Maybe I'm more angry than Ty is.
Well, no, you should be. Ty, dude, that guy literally let your brother get shot.
Yeah, he was there.
But Ty's kind of a punk. All right, go on.
Okay. So it goes back to Tandy and Mina, and then this is where she's like, "Shut up about my dad. I know you're Tandy." And she's like, "What? No, what? Like, you're a shitty liar. You're a shitty liar. You're Tandy."
I hope Mina's the villain. I like her a lot.
What?
That was an interesting
wants to make
pairing of thought.
Better.
No, I just like good villains, and the fact that she was so smart to figure that out, I don't know. I don't like that other dude. He's Scarborough. He's a boring villain. He's like almost the exact same villain as we have in Runaways, actually.
I think she'd be a great villain, especially because when we see her, we empathize with her. Her being nervous about her speech when we get first introduced to her, and I think so. The long con for us would be that we're empathize with her at first because we're like, oh, okay, she's really nervous. Oh, she's smart. Oh, her dad died. Oh, she's about the environment. Some racial.
Dude, I'm having some Discovery flashbacks right now. Oh man, sorry. Go on.
Yeah, and then she's on that racial ghoul shit. I care about the planet, but the rest of these humans get fucked.
I could see that, or just specifically blowing up all of Roxanne's shit.
Right.
It would be super interesting. I will give you that. But I like that she just seems like she wants to make the company better from the inside. And then Tandy's out over here like, I'm going to tear that shit down.
A lot of dictators say that same thing. I'm going to make this country better make the military better from the inside.
Just want her to try, okay? And then maybe when she fails, maybe then she'll start fucking shit up.
You're only a villain if you fail.
Okay, after that scene is when the aunt's like, one will live, one will die. And Evita's like, no, Ty. And then it goes back to Ty with Dwayne. And that's when they have like that
Do you
fight.
think they're going to kill one off?
I think Evita's going to try something and she's going to die.
She finds out this other half's a white girl, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white girl. I mean, this show be getting pretty real, so I'm wondering when they're going to bring that up. So,
this is where you've been disappearing to?
Right. Oh, your counterparts. I ain't got no control of that, baby.
I can't even touch her. Sure, you can't even touch her.
Oh, but you want to touch her? You tried to touch her?
But you rolling up into her warehouse unannounced.
Right.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Oh, y'all in church? Y'all gonna get married now? That's what.
When y'all try to touch?
Right. You touched her where?
I think Evita's gonna do something that's gonna change it, or maybe like it doesn't get renewed for a season because whoever wants to cancel it, and then they'll just kill one.
Oh man.
But I think someone else is going to die.
Justice is going to be that Runaways gets renewed and Cloak and Dagger gets canceled.
Because it's too racy.
They brought too many real issues.
Yeah, they were too woke, and we can't deal with it.
Nope. Y'all got to cover that up a little bit more. Y'all got to make it more subtle. You got to make it more subtle than that.
But anyways, Dwayne and Ty, that's where they're yelling at each other like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you've always been trying to punch up, blah, blah, blah. You think you're so much harder. And it was like, remember when you like jumped into the water to save Billy? And then Ty's like, what? You were there? You were fucking there? Everyone thinks I'm crazy and you were there? And all this shit. And it was so sad. And he was just like, you suffer. My dead brother built this business. You are the cops, bitch. You got nothing. You got no heart. And Dwayne's like, say that again.
Ty's got no well, the actor of Ty has no excuse on the acting on this particular scene, by the way.
Nope.
Yeah, that was really bad. That was really bad. But I think this is where his rage would have come into play, though. Like, but he's still like, no, I want to get my brother's name cleared. So, like, look, do the right thing. Like, you can come out now and say
like
something.
dark mist started like appearing around him. That would have been sick. Sorry, go on.
That would have been dope. Yeah, like he's just trying to convince him, like no, you still need to do the right thing. Like, even though you didn't go then and say anything, you can still say something now. Let's do it.
He was like, no, I gotta survive. I'm like, you kill Billy every
Was Dwayne kind of right?
What?
Was he kind of right?
What are you talking about? I didn't hear your first question.
Was Dwayne kind of right?
About
like what if he had gone to the cops and been like, I saw what happened, I mean, would anything have changed?
You're right.
That was Dwayne's argument, was like him going to the cops wouldn't have changed anything.
Maybe not.
Well,
and also,
I mean, going to the
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Him going to the cops would have, like, Ty's whole thing was like, I had everybody thinking I was crazy because I'm telling them what happened and nobody believes me. So at the very least,
I don't, but I feel like the cops still would have won. Like, I feel like the power dynamic is too strong in the cops' favor on that one.
It's kind of like when you're in situations like that, and you know those cops you got to avoid, because no matter what they do, they're not going to get touched. It makes your life harder. So you got it's that, like you said, it's a power dynamic, and it's a crappy power dynamic. You have to go in and seeing somebody that did something crappy to you, the person you know, or you know what they think about you, but you have to survive. You still have to make your nut.
Does it matter if it's one black kid saying it, two black kids saying it, three black kids saying it?
Doesn't matter if it's on tape. Don't matter if it's. It doesn't matter. If,
like in the real world, no. But for TV show's sake, not to say that life would have been better or the cop would have been convicted or anything like that, but it may have helped Ty and his parents.
It would have given Ty an ally, at least like a peace of mind that he wasn't crazy. I can see. But
also, he was a kid too, right? They were all kids. Like, I don't know. That's a weird situation though. And also, like, from when I saw, the cop didn't mean to shoot him. He shot him because the explosion happened. He's still wrong from doing it. So there's a lot of ways you could justify that in your mind, so you could still live your life.
Isn't that like the common narrative though? Like, I was frightened, I was startled, I was scared, I feared. Like, so he heard the explosion, he got scared, and his first reaction was like to squeeze off a couple.
This show is getting too real. It's getting too real.
It should still be accountability. I'm not questioning that. What I'm saying is, if you're a 17-year-old kid, I don't know how old Billy and his friends were at the time, but like, let's say they're 16, 17, right? You're a 17, 16-year-old kid. You know what's going to happen if you talk. You know you got to live in this world. You know you got to live in this neighborhood. You know there's not going to be any justice. Like, you know there's not going to be any justice. So you do the best what you got. Like, it's not like they're grown men who you know what I mean? It wasn't like he was at a point that he had a position of any kind of power back then, or even now, really. And the torture, you got to look at this guy in the face every time you do a drop or something. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's a layered show. I'm trying to limit my rants, but I think every time I talk, it's too much.
No, I think I think that's right. Which is good. I mean, it's a sign of good writing that Dwayne has. Like, it's almost like Killmonger or something. Like, it's just interesting. Sorry, go on.
You could tell he loved him. He loved Billy. You could tell he loved and admired him. You could tell it still weighed on him because he brought it up in the argument. Like, yeah.
All right, let's bring this home.
They're fighting, and then the cops come in, and that's when like Ty, you gotta go, but Ty doesn't go, and that's when the cop and Dwayne have a fight. But
what was with him calling O'Reilly, but her not answering? What was that? I didn't understand what that exchange was.
He's trying to tell him
to warn her, that she was going to get shot when she walked through the door.
I
don't know why he sent a quick text.
That's what that's literally why I was confused. I was like, why aren't you just texting her?
But yeah, because Connor told Dwayne, when she walks through the door, you have to shoot her. As soon as she walks through the door, shoot her. And
that's right, because that's literally why I was confused. I was like, so she didn't answer, just send a text.
It's 2018. You send the text first.
Right.
It also would have been stealthier too. Like, he'd have to talk.
Yeah, totally. It was very confused. Like, he's like literally like, oh, shit, like, what is he gonna do? I was really confused. I was like, why? I don't understand. So I thought, I actually thought there might be more. Like, maybe he was trying to get her. Maybe I misunderstood the scene and he had her on the phone listening in, or I couldn't figure it out.
He's bad at this stealth thing.
He's really bad. He's really bad.
His name is Cloak. I need him to be better at being stealthy.
He's working on it really badly. Maybe he'll learn. But then it cuts to Mina visiting her dad, and then Tandy following and being like, all I do is lie. I'm so sorry. I just want to know about my dad. And then she tries to do the vision, and it doesn't work because she can't get
that's really the door. Yeah, there's like a sealed door.
It's like an the oil rig door. And so she can't go in because of the black
smoke. So that's the first time we've seen a limit
great
on
boundary
vision.
I was like, it was really great to see the visualization of a boundary of her power, so that we're getting like the scope of what she can do, the range, and maybe possibly the growth of what she can do later on. I love that. It was a very subtle way to help explain more of her powers to us.
It kind of reminded me, remember in the old X-Men cartoon when Jean Grey would like do psychic stuff and they'd go onto that psychic plane and like have psychic combat on the psychic plane and that kind of stuff. It kind of like reminded me of that sort of thing. But do you think he's locked down because he's purposely locked himself down, or is he locked down because he's in this comatose state?
I think it's the comatose state. I think like his consciousness is locked away right now.
He's like lost in his own mind, which probably makes for the door that's locked. And have you guys seen the preview for the next episode though?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Spoilers!
It's not a spoiler. There's a preview that you can look up online.
Well, I think also it might show her power growth later on if she's able to get through that door, and we'll see a power growth to go through. If she
Did you hear how Anthony just dismissed you real quick? He was like,
Oh, what? I'm sorry. were you building us up to actually take it?
And now I'm gonna say what I want to say.
Yeah, and doesn't listen to what you say. He just pauses until he feels like he has a break to it.
It hurts me that you guys haven't seen the preview, because the preview very important in terms of the door and the boundary.
In my defense, when you watch it like freeform on demand, they don't show the preview. They just try to
I don't
make
think they
you
show
watch.
previews on Hulu.
Yeah,
The only reason I know about the preview is because of Mo. So
did he?
I thought he would have sent it to everyone. He did not.
He didn't send it to us.
Can I tell you guys about it?
Yes, please.
Or do you guys want to wait?
Lay it out. Lay it out.
Stop.
Do it. As long
Candy
as you
and Tyrone go into his mind.
I kind of thought that was going to happen.
They go into his mind, and they're like using their powers and shit. Like from the previous, like he's actually using his powers, and she's using his powers, and they're working together in his mind. And I guess it's like a loop, and that's why he's stuck.
Wait, whose mind?
The dad. The dad who's lost in his mind.
His dad.
Because Tandy's like, I can't get into this door, but there's like a black cloud that's like from Tyrone. So he's like, we got to do this together.
Yeah.
That makes you wonder if the door...
She's like, I think I know somebody who can help me with this.
Yeah.
And she's referring to him.
Then I wonder if it's purposeful trauma that's keeping that door locked. Like maybe he found out something or saw something that was so that it's also giving up a psychic barrier.
Maybe. I mean, he was there when the oil rig exploded, so he probably saw some shit. He saw something. But so
remind me, Tandy's dad was. They described this. He was like the chemist, and then she was more her dad. Mina describes their two roles in the partnership, and I can't remember what the two roles were.
Mina's dad is like the mud man and the engineer type shit, and then Nathan is like the Steve Jobs and like the brain more and like the calculations and shit.
Okay.
Which is why Mina's dad was actually in the oil rig shit. Was like there and not just driving and being a bad father.
Wow.
Putting his daughter in danger.
Whoa.
Wow. It's true.
That was bad. That was bad on his part.
He got distracted.
Anthony will say that because he does it all the
time. Anyways, after that, that's when it goes back to Ty seeing like the shit go down, and like Connor's just like, you got to shoot this cop. Don't ask no questions. Just fucking do it. And Dwayne's like, I've never done this though, but I'm gonna do it. Apparently,
which also speaks to Dwayne not necessarily being outright evil.
I guess. But O'Reilly comes in, doesn't want to answer her phone. She's dumb, and then kills him. And then that's when Ty's like, no, and just
no.
Which
but he uses his powers again, right?
He does. Yeah. He does when he's running away.
It's crazy.
Blips in and out when Connor tries to shoot him.
Now, do you think is he willing himself to do that? Or is there just it auto makes him disappear when a bullet's going to hit him?
I think it's survival.
Yeah.
Just like when Tandy jumped off the bridge, and that's how she made her power start coming.
I half expected when he landed at Tandy's for him to be bleeding from a bullet shot. Because they took the camera around, they slowly moved the camera around, and I was like, he's going to be bleeding when they come around.
Okay, can I just say that scene was the worst acting that he's done. That crying that he was doing, oh my gosh, that was terrible.
Yeah. He's not a strong actor, especially compared to her.
He literally did this, Bree. That's what he did.
People are bad at crying, okay? Like I've seen real people do that, and I'm just like, are you okay?
They were kind of.
But actors can't be bad at crying. Actors have to do it well.
Yeah. You know what? When my 7-year-old practices crying, like she gets it on point. She could do better. She could do better than this star guy. I heard her. She was in the mirror once. I heard this. I'm sorry, in different tones and different inflections. It was like, I'm sorry. Man, and I walked out and I looked into and she was in the mirror practicing I'm sorries. In different tones.
Like some Mark Hamill Joker laugh stuff right there.
I was like, Stop that. Kind of proud of you. Go ahead. Anyway, what's all interesting about his powers is that he stopped the bullets. He teleported the bullets separately and he teleported himself, which is really interesting.
Is that what was going on?
I mean, that's what it seems like because the bullets disappeared. Like, didn't some bullets drop when he got back?
Did they?
I don't
Or was
remember
that in
that.
my mind? That could have been
I
my
don't
mind.
know.
I think you
I
made
mean,
that
like
part up.
before he got shot at, and the bullet did come with him.
Oh yeah, okay, then that. So I think it's very interesting. He can teleport things separately at the same time. That's
He's different
really
than
powerful.
Nightcrawler or something like that. Like he has.
Yeah, he's really powerful.
He
That's
can
not
tell
bad.
Well,
him.
clearly he can show you your worst fears. I'm telling you.
He's
He
like
might
Ghost
not take down
Rider with a
Thanos,
cloak.
but he could take down some people.
He's like
Make-
Ghost Rider.
Make Doctor Strange pee his pants.
Mm-hmm. Doctor Strange. All right, you talk too much.
The cycle and the pattern thing. He saw someone get shot again while he was
Again.
hiding by a cop. And then
you're
he
right.
Mhm.
By the same cop.
And the same cop that he that was there for the first time is there this time.
And another brother figure.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah.
Cycles. Death. Rebirth. Shit was cool.
Yeah, that show. This episode definitely ups the writing level for sure.
Was her trust of her mark a rebirth of her actually living the life that she could have had before, like a connection with this girl? Was that a rebirth of her trust?
I mean,
Sure.
I think maybe. I just think it's interesting how.
No. Okay.
Do you think she really trusts her? I mean, I think she does, which is interesting.
I feel like if she didn't use the hope power, she definitely trusts her to an extent.
She wants to trust her at least.
Yeah. Like, I think she sees herself
Yeah.
in Mina, just like that could have been me. Like, even like their dads literally worked together. They could have been like sisters with how
It's really-
close.
Both these characters are way more moral than me because it's interesting. It's interesting that
Wow.
they see. Well,
Wow.
I mean, it's interesting that they see that like invasion of privacy. Like they definitely have a sense that using their power is like this invasion of privacy. Whereas, like, I'd be like, whatever. Like, Jean Grey doesn't care.
What? That's literally all Professor X says all the time. Is I can't see making people do what I want. Like,
Yeah, but then you see like issues where she's just like walking down the street and she's every single thought bubble is her listening in to what people are thinking.
yeah, Jean Grey got issues. All right, I'm saying, all right, I would use the power too, especially in my line of work. I'd be touching people all the
See,
time.
that's what I'm
I'd be
saying.
like,
That's what I'm. Be honest. Be
I
honest.
Yeah.
You would totally
You bring
be
your
thinking
work home with you
everybody's
now,
fan.
and so you
Yeah.
just stop it.
yeah, I'd be like, oh, really? But I think about how useful that could be. Like, all right, let me
Anthony's
just
trying to throw me under the bus. Like, I would never. Oh, Patrick.
Yeah, I would, Patrick. It'd be all right. This is why we be in the registration real quick. It's like, what happened? The mutant registration, not any kind of the registration. Let me clarify that. This is talk about the Marvel Universe registration. I'm gonna go back over here.
Just stop. Just
That was-
stop. Shh.
You know,
Shh.
even though I guess
It's
they can both
It's
count
okay.
because all right.
And just
Mhm.
no, zip it.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so thank you, Bree. Bree, you're definitely by far the best at doing recaps, so that was great. Fantastic. So I just wanted to, what are your guys' any like important, we kind of covered it as we were going through, but is there any important
did y'all fight over
call-outs
last
or
week?
things you want to talk about from this
What did y'all-
episode?
What did y'all fight over last week? That's what I want to know.
Oh, how Ty would react to the fact that Dwayne knew and was there when his brother was shot.
If I was
So,
doing,
Everybody
if
else
I was
thought
Ty,
that
I would
Ty
be
was
so pissed.
basically going to take him out, like use his powers and take him out. And I said, I don't know. I think
I didn't
Ty's
say
more.
all that.
I
Ty
said,
a
all right.
bitch.
What I
Ty
was
a
saying
bitch.
was Ty was conflicted, and they were like, "Oh no, Ty's not conflicted," and I was like, "No, I think Ty's conflicted about his feelings about Dwayne." And
You
they were
know
very
why?
upset.
You know why he wouldn't take him out? Let's point it out. Because if it was, let's say Dagger found out someone actually killed her dad. How do you think she's gonna react? She's gonna stab the guy, right? Is there any question she's gonna stab the guy?
Actually,
no
most
question.
of us said that if he couldn't
She's
do
at
it,
least
he was
gonna
gonna
stab
get
his
Dagger
kneecap.
to stab him.
Huh? What'd you say, Keem?
I said what we said that if Ty couldn't have the stones to do it, he would get Dagger to do it for
yeah.
him.
See. He ain't got that in him. That's good. He a good boy. Got himself a nice, good
But
voodoo,
also,
voodoo girlfriend.
he's the one who has the anger problems. He literally took a gun to Connors and tried to shoot him. I would not be surprised if he tried to do the same to Dwayne, but because he has connection to Dwayne, I get it. But Patrick also thought he'd be long run type of character. No.
Oh.
I don't remember saying that, but I believe you. I just thought that he would be conflicted about Dwayne and not just completely go like. But you're right. Oh, I do remember. I remember thinking Dwayne might be like a long-term kind of villainous character. You're right.
They kind of set him up that kind of way too. They even gave him a girlfriend to begin this episode. Like, oh man, like you're gonna be around for a minute. We gonna get some. Oh nope. Okay. Damn.
But yeah,
these episodes are whoever is writing these episodes is doing a really good. Like, there are shows that I don't even like, but I can respect the writing. Like, I'm like, wow, like they're hitting the themes on point and that kind of thing. And I like this show, but I feel also separate from my own enjoyment of the show that, especially in the last 2 episodes, your dog is cracking me up. All right,
Riley just came home.
It's like literally like jumping. Sorry. I think the writing is like really on point. Like, these people are some of the best writers that Marvel TV has gotten in a while. And also, it's really interesting how these 2 characters allow us to explore 2 really important kind of social issues right now, because you have basically her kind of exploring. There was a lot of like feminist tones to this episode with Tandy and Mina and how they were dealing with like Stan and all that kind of stuff. And then obviously all the racial tones with Ty, I think are really, I don't know. I think the show is like of its time and in a good way, not in a bad way. It's been pretty cool.
All of that.
Yep.
All right. Anything else?
Awkward silences in this week's episode.
I know.
What is
You
going
need
on?
the white guy to talk about feminism and
right
color, and then
You're
quiet on me. Like, oh, never mind.
Nobody listens to us when we say it, so you got it.
Oh.
That's why.
Chris Hardwick would disagree at this point. So, yeah,
that's a Lucas and Mo episode. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I think this show is. Like I've said it like 15 times now, but I did not expect this show to be as deep as it is and be as layered as it is and give that great writing. A really stark contrast to Runaway, which I figured was all like glitter, right? It was all glitter and not even good presentation, but just look, you're gonna love this show and you're gonna love LA because LA is such a character. We're gonna see this commercial 13 times every episode, like, and they give this show a lift ride. Right. And they give this show that seems like probably has less resources, and I guess because they had less resources and less of a budget, they had to have that writing on point. They really concentrated on it. That's what it seems like to me.
I just think it's impressive they took 2 characters that, remember, like our first episode, I was like 2 characters I don't even know anything about, and they've really brought those characters into the forefront of things that matter right now. And so, yeah, it's pretty cool. I really like it.
I mean, also, what's it called? The characters themselves give them the theme with the black and white and the dark and light, and just like they already have a theme to build on.
It would have been very easy to have made the show be more like Runaways, like really easy.
Really
than to just be like maybe even like Smallville, right? Like kind of that tone. So,
or Romeo Juliet, they could have went. There's a lot of themes they could have just went with, but even picking a location like New Orleans, it's away from everything else, and like we don't really get a lot. I mean, I know we hear New Orleans a lot, but we don't really get shows set there a lot, I feel like. And
do you think that the Gambit
maybe 2?
I can think of 2.
I can think of like 2. What'd you say, Patrick, about Gambit?
Well, there's a Gambit movie coming, right? And
made by Fox.
Yeah, but isn't Fox getting picked up by? I don't know where that.
Oh God, I hope it doesn't connect to this.
Yeah, I hate Gambit. That's a whole different story. But
I'm okay with Gambit. Is really 90s. I don't have a problem with Gambit, but I just don't like Fox's X-Men stuff for the most part. Is trash.
Do to you?
We could do a whole episode on how much I hate Gambit. I hate Gambit.
I think Gambit fit in the 90s, just like Spawn fit in the 90s. Like, it's kind of one of those things that, I don't know, doesn't really translate over unless you have to rework the whole character.
Gambit would 100% be the target of a Me Too coming out right now. No doubt in my mind.
Oh, he definitely
No doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind. I hate Gambit.
I don't know anything about Gambit.
Really?
Yeah, I just know him from the cartoons, so I'm gonna
Hey, petite. Hey, mon cher. Hey, that's not even Creole or whatever they are.
It is. It's
They
French.
actually no, but no, it's French, but it's not the Creole. Like they actually had a guy come on and speak like that Creole accent. Couldn't understand the word he says. Like Gambit is like a stepped on version of.
He's a
I'm gonna throw some-
creeper. He's not the guy you want around. He's a creeper.
Okay, I'm gonna let that go now. Okay.
Anyways, that's off topic, but all right.
Way.
So thank you everybody for listening in. Bree, thank you for all your hard work doing this. Keem, thank you for being here. Anthony, thank you for hanging out in the closet with us. I guess we'll
send help. Send
what?
help.
Set home. Okay.
The 7-year-old locked me in a closet.
Keem, can you get Anthony out of the closet? All right. Cool.
No, because his daughter is practicing her puppy dog eyes, and I'll go over there and be like, "Hey, you want to let your dad out the closet?" And then she'll just be like, "He's not here," and I'll be like, "Okay, let's go get ice cream." So,
you want to play with these knives?
All right.
He'll be like, "Why? Yes, I do."
Everybody,
Yes, I
I think this is a
do.
really good episode. And yeah, I will talk to you all later. Sweet.
all right.